This video is actually not going to be about beauty or beauty products, so if you guys aren't into this type of thing, totally by all means X out. No hurt feelings. I'm just going to talk about something that actually was requested by a few subscribers because, well, I had mentioned something about one of my life-changing experiences in one of my question and answer videos because someone asked me that question and I had mentioned it and someone was like, oh yeah, please vlog about it, and then it got thumbs up. It got liked a lot, so I decided to just make a video today because I have it on my list of videos to do, and I just am in that like really loving mood right now, and it is a really genuine, true, from the heart vlog, I guess. So what this is, if you have no idea what I'm talking about, is I had mentioned in one of my videos that I worked at a camp this past summer, and I'm not gonna write the name of the camp in the title because I don't know if I'm allowed to actually even use the name on YouTube just because of certain issues. Like I have so many pictures from the camp, but I remember they said you're not allowed to post them anywhere, like on any social networking site. So I don't want to get in trouble and not have a chance to go back after this video. If you guys, anyone's really interested in this camp or interested in actually applying and going, by all means message me and I'll tell you the name and everything. Okay, so I started working this camp in the beginning of the summer, and I was actually only there for 2 weeks. I was a volunteer, so I did not get paid to work there or travel there or anything like that. We did get to live in a really nice suite though. The people I worked with were amazing girls and boys. Basically what it is you volunteer to help out and be counselors for a bunch of people that apply and get into the camp. And the people that apply to the camp are not just individuals, but they're actually families. So it's like a family retreat program in a sense. And you have to apply because you have to have certain qualifications to get in the camp because it's not a regular camp. And when I say this, what I mean is it's more of a getaway for people and families that are struggling, because someone in their family, whether it's a baby, a young child, or a teenager, or even a parent, someone in the family is dealing with a life-threatening illness. So there are many different sessions. There are sessions about brain tumors. There are bereavement sessions where you kind of focus on the loss of someone due to cancer or some other life-threatening illness. And there are also just tons of different ones. Oncology, there's radiation periods, different types of serious illnesses that people every day are dealing with. And when you sign up to go to this camp, you have to apply because they want to make sure that the volunteers aren't just regular people doing this to put on their resume or something. They want to make sure that the people that are doing this are doing it because they have a good heart. And that is something that I have had, or I like to say I have, for a long time. I volunteered a lot when I was growing up. In all my schools, I would always volunteer, and I just love doing it because I love the feeling of doing something without getting anything else in return. That's just who I am, and that's what makes me feel good. When I wake up in the morning is knowing that I did something for others. The beautiful thing about this camp was that the families and everyone there that had cancer were amazing people, and it just shows that you can have really shitty circumstances, pardon my French, I usually don't curse, but I'm gonna leave that in. You can have the absolute worst circumstances, but still keep your head up. And I learned that from these people. So just basically being around people that have no control over their circumstances made me realize how thankful and how blessed I am to be in my circumstance, which I grew up in a family that really loved me. I was fortunate enough to go to school, to go to college, and I guess they lived a very privileged life. And that is not to brag or say, oh, I'm rich or anything like that. So please don't take it that way. And please don't send me mean comments saying like, oh, you're bragging, because by all means, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying that I did grow up relatively privileged as compared to the people that I know. And I'm very humble about it though. I don't ever shove what I have in other people's faces. And I definitely think that doing things for others and kind of seeing what it's like to be in someone else's shoes is very enlightening, especially for someone that has been raised in a positive environment. And when I also say positive, I don't mean necessarily like negative environment. I also mean negative circumstances. So I have never broken a bone in my body. I've never had a cavity. I've never really been sick. So for me to be around these people that are on medication every single day and just pretty much their life is at risk every day, it just really truly changed the way I look at life and the way I look at my friends and my family and just the way I look at being thankful for the simple things. And that's definitely one of the best lessons I learned from doing this, is that every little thing you should be thankful for. And when someone's going through something, if you think you're having a rough time, like, there are so many people that are having it so much worse than you. Do you know what I'm saying? So one of the best things about this experience was that I was able to meet people, and like, they changed my life, and I had a very big impact on them too, because I don't know how long any of you have been subscribed to me, but I did major in psychology, and I do want to be a child life specialist. So in all of my studies and everything like that, that's kind of what my goal is, to like help. If you don't know what child life is, and not a lot of people do, it's basically advocacy for people that can't advocate for themselves. And when the word child is from ages 0, well, birth to 21. So it's not just little kids. But basically, that's what I love to do. I love to help people and talk to people and kind of advocate for people that can't do it for themselves. That's where I work now, my current job. This was asked on Blog TV, actually, and I'm not going to say the name, but I work at a place in New York City for people with developmental disabilities. So kind of just, that's my thing, is working with people that do not have what I am blessed to have, and kind of sharing my blessings with these people, if that makes any sense. Okay, so basically at this camp, everyone that comes has a life-threatening illness, and it wasn't usually the parents either. Some of the parents had passed away, but it was mainly the children, and that was, I think, the most heartbreaking thing to me. Not that I'm not heartbroken by seeing adults with cancer, because it is always terrifying and so sad and just devastating. But it's hard when you're looking at little children, and you get to know them, and they like you, and you play with them, and then you're like, oh my God, like, they have an oxygen tank on their back, or they're having a little attack, or they need their medication right now. Or I think that was the hardest part for me, is to know that even though I looked at these children as completely normal, like, they do have extra baggage, and they're looked at very differently in their school and in other environments. And that's the beauty of this camp, is that everyone was able to join together and not look at them differently, and everyone else that was in the camp had the same issues. So it was really enlightening to see bonds being made by these children. And it was the hardest thing, I think, for me, was the young people. There was about a 3-year-old girl who would tell me how she would have to give herself injections every single day, and she had to have IVs in her arms, and just terrible stories. And she was saying how, because I was telling her how I freak out if I get a finger prick, she told me this whole meditating method that she does to stay calm. And I'm just sitting here, I'm like, oh my God, you're 3 years old and you've been through more hardships in your life than I have in my 23 years. Like, it doesn't seem fair, almost. But then I met this really cool guy. He was about 17, and he was teaching me how to Dougie. Because we all know a white girl can't really Dougie, can she? No. And the song came on, and the thing about the camp was that there was tons of activities during the day, but at night there was all these songs we sang, there were different talent shows, and it was just so fun to see these children who barely have a fun life at home to just join together and be happy, So the song came on, and he was trying to teach me how to Dougie. And if you don't know what that is, by the way, Google it, because I will do a terrible job at explaining even what it is. And he was trying to teach me that, and everything was going great. And then he started coughing, and he sat down, and he had to take a pill or something. And I just was sitting down with him, and I'm like, we've gotten closer the past 2 days, because you never ask these people, by the way, what is wrong with them. You wait for them to tell you. So I was like, we've gotten really close. Are you here because you're with a parent or somebody that's sick? He's like, oh no, I have leukemia. And I just looked at him, I was like, oh, I was honestly speechless. And I'm not really speechless. You guys know I talk a lot. And I'm just like, oh my God, I had no idea. I thought, because I know his sister is also sick. I think his sister had cerebral palsy or something like that. I don't know. But all I know is that touched me, because I was sitting there thinking, this guy is 17 years old teaching me how to Dougie, and he's dealing with one of the most awful cancers that I could ever think of. Not that any cancer is good, but I mean, oh God. So he was sitting there telling me how he missed his whole senior year of high school, and how he just wants to get back, and he misses his friends, and he went through chemo, and he's actually doing better, and he's sort of killing it from his system. And I definitely think that remaining positive and trying not to be stressed in that situation, even though it's so hard to be, definitely helped him out. Because he would tell me how he didn't want to let depression get the best of him. He didn't want to let the sadness overcome him and control him. He wanted to live each day of his life to the fullest. And I just thought that was so beautiful, because here I am, complaining about oh, I want the new iPhone, or or I can't believe I graduated college and I don't know what to do. Like, you know, there are so many more important things out there. And it was just really, you know, touching to hear that. And then there was another kid who was a girl, actually, who was losing her hair. She was going through chemo while she was there, and she was telling me how she has the like rarest form of bone cancer, and they didn't think she'd make it out alive, and she's been through so many hospitalizations and, you know, still staying strong. And I'm just like, oh my God, I can't believe how strong you people are, you know. It was also really sad to see the parents, because they're going through, you know, these lives that they didn't ask for, they didn't expect. And by no means am I blaming the children, but it's like, to deal with a sick child is devastating. You know, your child is your life. Not that I have a child and I know, but I know any of the moms out there know your child is your life. And if your child is sick, your life changes drastically. And I think that that was one of the hardest things for me to watch. The parents, you know, when the kids were dancing, or if they were singing a song on stage and, you know, one of the kids would just tumble, like a little tiny tumble, and like fall on the knees, the parents would shoot up, and the anxiety and stress of, oh my God, you know, would overcome them, because at that moment they don't know if their child is going to live or die. When the child will go to sleep at night and have a little bit of a cough, they thought in their head that this would be their child's last night, because when you have an illness or when you have something so serious, you don't know what can happen. And that, I think, was the hardest thing for me to see, is that the parents that love their children so much, it's out of their hands. They help all they can by giving them medicine and by, you know, providing for them and giving them love and support. But in the end of the day, everything's, I would feel like, in God's hands, and it depends on who God wants to take and how some of them get better. And I don't even want to get into that discussion, because so many times, like, I questioned so much when I was there. I was like, is this, like, how is this fair? And I hate those questions and constant battles with my own spirituality, but that's another story for another video. But I often battle things in my head, and it's not good. But I just feel like, regardless of religion and spirituality and whatever you are, if you're a good person inside, other people will get that vibe off of you, and that's what makes me feel good inside. But so at the camp, aside from having fun activities and doing all those things, we also did rock climbing, we played ball, we went on boats, canoes. I remember I did my first paddle boat, which was, oh my God, I was so out of shape. The little kid that I was telling you about that has leukemia literally kicked my butt in paddle boating. I was tired after a few paddles. I was like, oh my God, I gotta get back in shape. And he's like rowing the boat like crazy. The beautiful part of this camp is that it's on a lake. So it was just so gorgeous. At the end of the day, we'd have s'mores, we'd roast marshmallows, and we would just talk to these children and teenagers that were sick, but they weren't different in my eyes. Like, you could never tell that they were sick. And that was, I think, the beauty of this place, is that everyone was the same. Everyone was equal. Race, background, religion, age, physical appearance, nothing mattered except who you were with and what you were talking about. And that was so beautiful, because it's hard to find that, especially, you know, with all the hate and negativity going on in the world nowadays. And then at the end of the camp, we would have all these different shows and songs, and we would sing a song. It would be just a really sad song. I can't put it here because of copyright, but I will link the lyrics in the bottom. It's called That's What Friends Are For, and we would sing that after every session. And it was just so beautiful, because as we were singing it, we would just sit on the stage, because that was when the families were thanking the volunteers for working, and we sang it to them. And just to see the parents grab their children and just cry and hold them, it was just so truly life-changing, because I have never, ever had a child, and I didn't know. My parents love me to death, but it's just so beautiful to see that love elsewhere, because I feel like a lot of my own friends have families that kind of aren't there for them and don't support them as much as mine do. So it was just so great. I'm trying not to cry. It was just so great to see love. Like, I was like witnessing pure love at its finest moment. And then at the end, we have a wish boat ceremony, which is where we make a little wish boat in the arts and crafts. And oh my God, these kids are artists. Like, I really was embarrassed to be there. My boat was like literally the sailboat. This is how I drew it. Like the U, and then the line, and then like a stick. and then I like cut it out, and they were like, no, get the wood, get this, and like you make it on wood, and then you put little candles in it, and you attach a string to it, and we go to the lake and you stand there, and then all the children and adults, if they want, and teenagers, take their boats and put a candle and light the candle. We all go around lighting candles, put the candle in the little section of the boat that they made for the candle, and then they let it go in the water on the string, and they make a wish, and we play this like really beautiful song. And seeing that, I think, was the hardest part for me, because the wishes of the kids weren't for toys. They weren't for the new iPod or the new doll. You know, they were just, whether it was their parents or just, I don't, oh, geez, okay, I'm not gonna cry this. They were just to be healthy and to just have a normal life. And it just, honestly, it just gives me chills thinking about it, because just to see these children smile every day knowing that they might not make it till the next day was just really made me reevaluate my life and who I hang out with and just who I want to surround myself with, and really, really appreciate the life that I have. And it's hard because I say that a lot. I say like, oh, I'm always so appreciative, but it's like, this was my reality slap to realize, like, you know, wake up. Don't ever complain about the little things. Don't ever think that I have it bad, when there are people out there that, you know, don't know if their child is going to wake up, or don't know if their sister is going to wake up, or their brother, or their mother or father. So if any of you guys know anyone that's young or old and just has cancer or has a terminal illness, like, my heart goes out to you, honestly, because I know it is so hard, and I've had so many people die in my own family of cancer, and it's just, it's a terrible thing. It really is. But I'm not intending this video to be sad. I'm really trying to tell you guys what changed my life and how it made me a happier and better person. I made so many great friends here, all the counselors that I worked with, and everybody was just so caring and loving, and you know that they all wanted to be there for the same reason, because we weren't getting paid to do this. We were there from the bottom of our hearts, and we truly formed a family and a bond over those few weeks, and I'm definitely going back, and I'm going back next summer. And the adults that you can be adults that volunteer too, so there were parents, like grandparents there. There was an 86-year-old woman who was volunteering just to like help out, and it's just so beautiful to see a bunch of people come together to help those that can't help themselves. When I came back from the camp, I did get 2 phone calls, and unfortunately 2 of my little campers, separate times, did pass away. And I think that that was the hardest thing for me to deal with, because I was with them and they were happy and jumping, and one of them was in a Superman costume and just running around, and it was like those were the last few weeks of his life. And I'm just so blessed that I was able to be a part of those few weeks, because not anyone can say that, you know. And I developed such great bonds with the siblings of these children that passed away too. And it's just great to know that, like, they can call me whenever they need me, and just their parents too. One of the mothers just came to me and was just like, I just want to say thank you. She couldn't say anything else because her child was actually having like a little attack of whatever sickness he had. But she just said, before she left, she said, I just wanted to say thank you. She's like, I've never met someone like you. And it truly touched my heart, because I've been told that I'm a good person, I've been told I'm helpful and I can talk to people, but it's just like, when you experience it like hands-on, it's truly, truly life-changing experience. And I just, it sucks that I had to come home and like find out this news. I remember I got a call in my bed and I was like, oh my God, and I just started sobbing, and my mom's like, what's wrong? And I just like saying the words, like, my 3-year-old camper passed away, like he didn't even get to live any bit of his life. She was upset. She started crying. I'm like, Mom, you didn't even know him. And the thing is, I had showed her pictures like, they gave us, that's another thing that was so great, they gave us DVDs of over 100 pictures from each session that we were in, and the pictures were of the campers and us with the campers and us on the lake and us roasting marshmallows, and it's just amazing memories that I will never ever forget, and I'm so happy that I have them on DVD. So after I found out that a few of my campers passed away, one of the boys was 3 and the girl was 8, and cancer just kind of kicked their butt, and it was sad. to hear that, but I am happy knowing I was a part of the last few days of their last weeks of their life. And I know that their parents tried everything that they could to keep them healthy, but it's one of those things that you really can't help. You can just make the best of what you have, and that's something that I think I've learned, is that you need to live every day like it's your last, because you really don't know when it's going to be. And it's just surround yourself with people that you love and with people that care about you and you care about them. I always say this, I don't remember where I read this quote, but don't make anyone a priority if you're just an option to them, you know? Make sure you live your life with how you want to. If you die tomorrow, if your life whole flashes before your eyes, you'll want to look back and see good people. You know, don't let negative people in. And that's something that I have been struggling with, especially because my YouTube channel is growing and I love each and every one of you, but it's been hard because I have been getting a little bit more hate than normal lately. But originally I was really upset about it, and now I'm just pushing it to the side. I'm no longer focusing on hate, and I've just learned so much. And every time I do reflect on this summer and how amazing it was, I definitely smile, and I just realize that no negativity can bring me down. And I am so happy with myself for doing that and volunteering and experiencing that and being able to be blessed with such a life-changing opportunity. It just kind of makes me feel like a better person. And I'm really happy that you guys asked me to even vlog about this, because I've never really talked about my experience. I've talked about it to my family, but my friends kind of just, I don't know, my friends are great people, but a lot of them don't volunteer at all, so it's kind of hard for me to explain things to them, because they wouldn't want to just sit when we're out and just hear me vlog. But I guess that's what YouTube is good for, is like you can get a lot off your chest and kind of rant. All my other rants have been kind of fast spoken, kind of like different than this, I guess, but this is just definitely a different kind of video, and I won't be doing a ton of these because this is a beauty channel and I'm not going to be opening my whole personal life to everyone on the internet. But this is just something that really truly did change my life, and if anyone has any questions about like majoring in psychology or anything like that, or this camp, or just volunteering in general and how to get started, just feel free to message me, because this is something that truly has changed my life, and I really do feel like giving back to others and not expecting anything in return is one of the best feelings in the world. And I'm just so thankful for the life I've been given, and just all my friends and family that love me. And this includes all of you guys, everyone who's watching this right now. Even if you're going to hit the dislike button and hate me, honestly, I don't care at this point. I'm erasing negativity from my head and my mind, and I love all of you guys. So thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end of this video, if any of you actually did. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. And I'll end this with a quote by James Dean, a poster that's on my wall, and it's, "Dream as if you'll live forever, live as if you'll die today." Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.